All right, let's go.
So today I'm sitting here with the esteemed CEO of RE/MAX Hallmark Group of Companies and a really good friend of mine and mentor, Ken McLachlan. Kenny, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me. It's been a long time.
This is amazing. I mean, prior to us doing that, I was thinking about the years that we've been through together. I mean, I started in this industry in 1979. You in the mid-'80s?
That's right, yeah.
And the history of the different markets, and we're going to talk about that again today, a bit today, but what we've been through is amazing. We're survivors, which is even better.
Yeah. But
we've seen lots of energy around that, so I'm so pleased to be here.
Well, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. You know, I wanted to get your take. You know, I am out there and I meet a lot of different buyers and sellers from time to time and other real estate agents as well from various companies, the RE/MAX family and other companies. And everybody's now, been speaking about the market. What's happening out there? What's changing? Why are all the media outlets purporting that the market's falling like a rock? You know what? I think personally, it's just seasonal adjustment.
Well, it is that. I mean, it is. Listen, let's just go back 6 months. I mean, the conversations we would have had at that time, if that was 6 months ago, would be, oh my gosh, I have 20 offers before I bring one buyer. It was the reverse of often what we're seeing now.
Mm-hmm.
So the market is the market. I mean, for a market to be a market, it has to be always changing.
That's true.
And so this market is adjusting. There was an overheated part of it that happened February, March that was corrected a bit. And this is the adjustment period we're going through, and you just have to look at really what the market is actually doing. I know you have some numbers you can share with us, but the market is not falling, it's not disappearing. The people are buying and selling. There's still great opportunities for people to sell and great opportunities for people to buy, depending on the area. But the adjustment is being made now. You're going to find, probably my guess, best educated guess will be that in the summer things will level out a bit. We have a good, strong, balanced market, what we're doing, and the fall will be great for us. So the market isn't falling apart. The market is there still. And a good barometer of that is, where is this market going to be in your best guess in 10 years?
Mm-hmm. And that,
what do you think is Toronto going to be like?
You know, it's funny that you say that because I always say to my clients, you make your money in real estate when you buy, not when you sell.
Yeah.
And I think that if you look historically, like you said, I think combined between the two of us, we probably have close to 75 years of experience. But if you look at anybody who purchased real estate even 5-7 years ago, there's still the appreciation in their home is still far better than anything they could do in the equity markets, anywhere else, as long as they're buying for the long term. As you said, there may be fluctuations and there may be points in the market throughout a year where you're going to see, dip, but I think that becomes seasonal.
Well, the trick also, trick's not the word, but the caution always is to buy and sell in the same market.
Right.
It doesn't really matter in the long term unless your equity is shaved off a lot, but what's happening in the market is important to have it happen in the same market. You're going to sell and buy in the same market. Where people get stuck and in a changing market is that they would buy in this new market or old market and they'd sell in the new market. So there's an adjustment they get here. And that's probably what we're sitting through right now. A lot of people have bought homes that haven't sold their homes yet. Some of them are having trouble with that. But you know what? They're all closing. They're all going through with the deals and they're all persisting with this market. So I have a lot of confidence in it. I have a deal that's closing in July that we bought in this market. So I think it's a long-term play. It's an interesting market. There's opportunity out there for buyers right now. And really, it's the skill, I think, that matters now more of the real estate agent that you're working with, that the clients are working with.
100%.
See, I think the interest rates are going up as an example. I think there's a great opportunity for a really good seasoned real estate agent to create lower interest rates for people to buy with, and how that's done with mortgage vendor takebacks and things that we've done for years.
Right.
So I think that's going to come forward more. I think a lot of sellers are going to assist with financing. So 5% mortgages, you can still probably get 2% mortgages out with a creative real estate broker.
Right.
So I think that's the exciting part of this market.
Yeah,
So,
and I think that's what we're all obviously going to probably see as well. I would agree with that. And I think what people really have to take away, in my opinion, is that the frothiness, the market the way it was in February and March wasn't sustainable. It was going to, at some point, level off as more inventory came to the market. In fact, when I was looking at numbers back in February, you were looking at 800, 900 freehold properties in Toronto proper. Now you're looking at 3 times that.
Yeah.
So of course you're going to see a changing market. And I think, as you said, this is an excellent time for buyers to go in and start negotiating. Maybe putting in conditions for home inspection, maybe putting in condition for financing to make sure that they can qualify. And I think that back in February, you just didn't have that opportunity. It's a shifting market.
Yeah, and I think having an opportunity now is important. Okay, I think it's more of a balance thing happening with us, but I think it's really, if I was a buyer in this market, I would find an incredibly good real estate broker, sales rep to represent me and help me negotiate the best deal I can based on a lot of things: location, type of home, price range, and the mortgage.
Right.
And that's an important component of what's going on, because a lot, especially in the first-time buyer market right now, there are a lot of people that are sensitive to mortgage rates.
Right.
So let's do something to help people with that, and we can do that.
Right.
And I think it's important to think about that.
And so if you were sitting here and you're sitting with your young first-time buyer, what would you say to them? What's the best advice that you would give them?
I think that always, and it hasn't changed, is by location, especially your first-time buyer. I know this is not my forever home. I think that if you go into that attitude that I'm going to live here for 10, 15 years, listen, some people do, I get that.
Right.
But really it's a 2, 3, 4 year status that you're going to have that first-time home. So get yourself into the market. Start playing and trading within that market. I would do that. Location to me is paramount, what you're going to do. So
It's funny that you say that, because I always remember when we got into real estate, the 3 things you're always looking for is location, location, location.
Buy the best house you can in the location that is prime location for you.
Right.
It suits the market for you. And know you're not going to be there after 3 years. You're going to trade up. You're going to do something. But your value will go more in a great location market.
Agree with you 100%.
So that's the key for me,
100%.
like that. Second key for me would be to really research the market and find out what's on the market right now. What is the seller's competition that wants to sell me this property? So what are the variables that are around that? How can I manipulate that? Again, and not a great word, but for a buyer, you have to take opportunities when they do come. So I think there's opportunities out there for buyers to look at different properties, to negotiate, as you talked about, and do things like that. So, and the third thing are mortgage rates. Like, really if you're a first-time buyer, don't settle on the 5% or 6% rates. Know that with some creative work with your real estate broker, you can probably get a 2 or 3% mortgage rate. So that's a great thing to have.
Right. And so what about advice for a seller in today's market? Obviously, we know that there's more listings now than there was back in February. Clearly, and this is just my opinion, I think things will start to shift as you get into the fall market.
I think be patient. This is not going to turn overnight. You're not going to have the days of you putting a house on the market and it's selling within 5 minutes aren't going to happen.
Yep.
Very likely not going to happen. So you're not going to get 13 offers on a property. You may get 1 or 2 if it's priced competitively and presented properly.
Right.
With mortgages and everything else. You're going to get more than 1 offer if it's done that way, aggressively done that way. But communicate and be patient. Don't expect things to happen within 1 day or 5 days or 10 days. It might take 30 days to get this done. So I think with that patience in mind, you're fine.
Right.
Really.
So, as you say all these things, I think to myself, one of the great lessons that you always taught me was manage expectations.
Yeah.
And I think that's so key. Every buyer, every seller, my job as your realtor, as your agent, would be to manage your expectations about what you can expect. What is the market going to look like for you as you come into this process of buying a home? How can we, help you take advantage of a buyer market or a shifting or balanced market? And then for the sellers, expectations. What can we expect?
Yeah.
And we're in this summer.
I know, and I
shift.
think that, as you asked me about buyers right now, or sellers even, I think now more than ever, the expectation of their real estate broker delivering for them is important. I think it's more important that they can rely on a good realtor and demand great service and demand expertise now more than ever, because you need as a buyer and seller, you need an exceptional realtor now more than ever
I would agree.
to guide you through
100%.
this thing. So I think it's time to expect that. I think it's time for brokers to step up and do the very best they can and hone their skills, which they are doing, and be better at what they're doing. So I'm excited about that. I think opportunities for, and I think the coupling of a buyer with an exceptional realtor or a seller with an exceptional realtor will do well in this market
I would agree.
for that. So it's exciting.
It is.
I'm excited about
I
this
agree with
market.
you.
Sky's not falling.
No.
It's okay. Long term, what do you think is going to happen in 10 years? Always have that attitude. Buy and sell in the same market space. You'll be fine. And buy location.
Couldn't have said it better. Kenny,
It's
really
been fun.
appreciate
I'm so proud of you.
I appreciate your
Keep
time.
making a difference.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
And thanks for taking the
let's do it
time to
again.
chat.
bye now.